What's going on, YouTube? My name is FG3000, re-energized and back in the place to be. I know it has been a hot minute, ladies and gentlemen, in between the Thanksgiving holidays, me traveling, my birthday, which was December 3rd, and then getting sick right after that. I'm at least 98.2% right now, so we are good to go for another episode of the Mobile Gaming Recap. But before we get started, a quick note from our sponsor, BenQ. Now, I know a lot of you guys are out there familiar with BenQ when it comes to monitors, but did you know that they also make lamps? Me neither. Next question after that has to be FG. Why do they make lamps? Same question I had. So BenQ sent me out their Genie lamp about a month ago. I've been using it every single day, and I hope they don't get mad for me saying this, but I gotta say, I would have never, and FG means never, researched this lamp, looked like I didn't even know technology like this existed, but it does make sense. When you think of a traditional desk lamp or a lamp that you use in your living room or something like that, those lamps are designed to illuminate rooms. They were never designed for people to use monitors and laptops under. So the technology definitely makes sense. The lamp is designed with a wide lighting as opposed to like a spotlight light like desktop lamps do. So that's much better in your eyes. It's more even. There's no glare, there's no flicker, and the best part, it automatically adjusts based on the other ambient light in your room. So you always have the most amazing visual experience at your desktop, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you, BenQ, for sponsoring this video. If you are interested right now, I just looked it up on Amazon. This bad boy is sitting at a 4.5 positive star rating on Amazon, so it got to be doing something right. I vouch for it, stamp of approval. Let's jump into the episode. Now, we normally start these episodes off with the biggest global release, and I know a lot of people are super excited for Crossing Void and Rising Steel, but I gotta say, all things considered, Battle Breakers by far was the biggest global release that we saw. So let's go ahead and start off with that one. This is a brand new hero collector brought to you by Epic. This is not a gacha style game. I know a lot of people are very concerned about that. This is the type of game that all the currency that you build up, you can use directly to buy exactly which character that you want. So that's a plus on that end. But I gotta say, overall, this game, it missed the mark. I think the combat system should have just been completely dropped a long time ago. You guys know that this game has been in development for quite a long time. I think during the course of that, they should have just dropped this combat system because the way it kind of presents itself, and I talk about this a lot, it doesn't matter how you design the game to be played. The only thing that matters is how the players play the game. I would say the first 80 to 100 levels, this game is basically an auto-play game. And this is the game that I try to compare it to. I try to compare it to Destiny Child in my first video. It plays a lot like Destiny Child. You just turn it on auto and you go. But here's the problem. Right when you get around level 80 to 100, autoplay is terrible and you have to play the game on manual, but by that time, most of the players haven't really learned anything. So they usually either, if they get to that point, they probably drop it at that point. So what I think they should have done, they should have either 100% just used a different combat system all the way together, or introduced more manual gameplay a little bit earlier in the game and had a lot less stages. Because I know a lot of, well, let me not say a lot of people out there. Let me just talk about myself. I know a lot of FGs out there will go into a game, you have good intentions, you want to play the game on manual, you want to learn the combat system, but then you see hundreds upon hundreds of stages and you're like, I am not about to play all of these stages on manual. And that's the trap that I fell into. I eventually just started playing the game on auto, and then you don't really learn the combat system. And by the time you get there, if you even get there, it's just too late. So I'm not sure if the player base that are playing this game and downloading the game are gonna play it long enough to realize that the combat system is more than just an autoplay game. That is the problem. So either, like I said, introduce manual gameplay earlier and dramatically reduce the amount of stages that you have to play throughout the campaign, or a totally different combat system. My vote is a totally different combat system, but that is Battle Breakers. This game is available on PC, iOS, as well as Android, but you have to go get it from the Epic Store. It's not on the Play Store, so do keep that in mind. So the next title up is Crossing Void. Crossing Void, FG, I know, it has been way too long. This episode should have came out at least 2 weeks ago, but Crossing Void is a brand new hero collector based on a ton of different anime, and I know a lot of people out there were very reluctant to pick this title up because they hadn't seen a lot of the anime that this game was based on, but just like I said in my first video, play this game like it's an original IP then. If you've never seen any of the anime, just pretend it's an original IP, but on the plus side to that, if you play the game and you find some characters characters that you really do kind of connect with, now you have this huge back catalog of anime that you can go and enjoy. So that's a good way of looking at it. Now, Crossing Void is very lucky that this episode is late, because had I had to record this way before, it would have been a totally different impression. But now at this point, all of the global launch issues have really kind of settled down. When the game first came out, there were constant disconnects, lag, just so many different server issues. We had the snafu on the probability visual bug, we'll just call it that. There is a ton of drama surrounding the limited banner. So I think at this point, all of the major issues have settled down. And then on the piece, when it comes to the limited banner, that's gonna be a preference at that point. So now the game is perfectly playable. And I consider this a very solid, probably one of the better main side games. So let me kind of give you guys a frame of reference. I would consider Epic 7 a main game. Like, that's a game that you play and it's going to take up all of your time. Where I consider Crossing Void a main side game, because it does take a good amount of time if you want to complete everything all day. Not enough to take up your entire day, not even close. There's not enough stamina, there's not enough gameplay modes that can be played over and over again to warrant that. So it's more of a main side game, and it does a fantastic job. It does reuse assets from the fighting game, which some people call that a con. I call that a pro. Like, if you could reuse some assets from a fighting game, who would be upset if Dragon Ball Fighter Z released like a hero collector reusing the animations from the fighting game? I don't think anybody would be upset. That's actually a perfectly good use of reusing assets, in my opinion. So the combat, the animations are all fantastic. There's so many nostalgic characters and crowd favorites that are being added. I like to call this game Sword Art Online and Friends, but there are a lot more anime than just that. I just don't recognize any of them. So that is that. But overall, I think this game is definitely worth your time. All of the issues that were plaguing the global launch have settled down, and I think that this game going forward is going to be a very solid title to play. The development team and the community management team are very vocal. As soon as something goes wrong, they're out there, for better or for worse, addressing the community and trying to provide solutions, and that's really all you can ask for. So if you needed a little bit more Kirito in your life, we also have Sword Art Online Alicization Rising Steel, a brand new hero collector published by Bandai, but developed by WFS. Now this is a very important distinction, because Bandai is Bandai, and Bandai does Bandai things. However, WFS is the same exact development studio that brought you Dan Memo, Dan Machi, Memorial Freeze, Is It Wrong?, to pick up girls in a dungeon. They also brought you Another Eden, which in my book, considering what's left in this year, is going to be the game of the year when it comes to mobile games. Spoiler, but it has to be said. So this game has a very strong development studio behind it, with an amazing IP that people just are in love with. So they have a recipe for success. Let's see how they do it. Like I said, this is a hero collector. It has turn-based combat with a slight learning curve, but it's not anything too major. The combat gimmick gives you enough reason to play certain stages on manual, but it also still works on auto, and you guys know how FG is. I need to have a nice blend between manual gameplay and auto gameplay. So far it's fantastic. One of my favorite features of this game is not even really a feature, it's the UI design. So the UI in this game is just so well made. So let me kind of give you guys an example. Let's say you are in a character screen, right? And you want to go to the item shop really quick to buy something. In this game, the item shop is an overlay on top of your character screen. So you can jump into the item shop, buy exactly what you need, close the item shop, and the character screen is still waiting for you right under all of those screens. As opposed to like going out of the character screen, loading, click on the item shop, loading, buy the thing, loading, go back to the character screen, loading. None of that stuff happens. So the UI, while it's very subtle, the UI is fantastic. So shout out to WFS on that one. So far the game has been fantastic. We've had 3 events since global launch. The story, as well as the hard mode on the story, is just challenging enough, has a lot to look forward to when it comes to fans of the series, when it comes to just full-blown anime cinematics in the game. Even a person like me who's only seen season 1 has found a lot to enjoy in the story thus far. Season 1 was okay. Maybe I'll like it more once I get to Alicization. Don't come for me. So far so good. I do think the game needs a little bit of quality of life when it comes to auto repeat. So far all of the events in the game have been basically grind this dungeon that you've already 3-starred tons and tons of times, get the drops, buy things out of the store. I think the game could do a little bit more with a little bit of auto repeat, because the game modes that you do have to play on manual are good enough on their own. The PvP, the Cathedral Assault, some of the hard modes in the campaign, even some of the normal modes in the campaign are very challenging enough for you to use manual gameplay. I don't think they need us grinding those event stages over and over and over again. I think that's something that they can ease up a little bit and give us some auto repeat. But other than that, I think this game is on a fantastic trajectory. I highly recommend giving this one a shot. Rising Steel, ladies and gentlemen, published by Namco Bandai, but no, this is a WFS game. All right, so let's do these next few games rapid fire style, starting off with Bleach Mobile 3D. So this is a brand new mobile MMO with a Bleach skin wrapped around it, and with that comes your typical mobile MMO types of things. So red dot simulator, auto path, auto quest, auto grind, auto combat, but this game takes it an even step further with so many different things that you have to enhance or awaken or limit break or evolve or break through. It's just way too many bars to fill up. You're just like in this perpetual state of constantly trying to upgrade your character, but you're never completely satisfied. That's what she said. Bleach Mobile 3D, for me, it's a pass. Next up is Time Reversal. So this game caught me by surprise by how much I enjoyed the combat system in this game. If you were in the camp and you did not like Brown Dust or you did not like Night Zero due to the fact that the combat systems were a little bit more passive, you might want to give Time Reversal a try. So it's very reminiscent to those grid-based style of RPG, just like Brown Dust, but the turns in this game are way more reactive. You are actively countering your opponent turn by turn by turn. So to give you guys a real generic example, if I drop like a 5/5 creature on the board, you have the option to either maybe drop a 6/6 creature, maybe you want to drop a 0/10, maybe you just want to avoid that creature altogether and play something on a different grid. Like there's a lot of that. That's a very simplified version of the combat system, but you do all of the things that I just said on a turn by turn basis. So if you liked Brown Dust, but you wanted something a little bit more active, maybe give Night Zero a try. So these have not been very rapid fire at all. I don't even know why I tried, my poor voice. Moving on over to Might and Magic Era of Chaos, a brand new strategy RPG brought to you by Ubisoft. So my biggest beef with this game doesn't actually have much to do with the game. I thought the game was okay. I'm just a little disappointed in Ubisoft. Ubisoft really wants to be a player in the mobile industry, which is fine. We accept that, come on and bring it. But this game I think would have done well 3 or 4 years ago. It's just a little behind. The character models, the sprites, the whole VIP presentation, that kind of thing, I think it's just a little late. So even though I saw some people in my comment section of that video actually have a lot of good fun and a good time with this game, I still think when people are just kind of scrolling through the mobile store, they look at this game, they look at the screenshots, they're gonna be like, what year is this? So I think they really need to kind of re-look at the mobile gaming market. It's not the same as it was 4 years ago, Ubisoft. You gotta look at what's coming out around it and make games or release games that are at least up to that par, or maybe a year behind, but nah. So moving on over to A Spirit Wish, a brand new mobile MMO that takes heavy inspiration from games like Tree of Savior and all of the grindiness that comes along with it. But the biggest claim to fame when it comes to this game is the fact that you can control 3 separate character classes. You can also unlock even more character classes via quests, events, as well as the gacha. And I do recommend giving this game a shot. I got this game wrong on my tier list and I want to apologize for that. I will be correcting it on my next tier list. And the reason for that is when I was playing this game via my first impression, and I played this game a few days after my first impression video, I had no idea that this game had offline progression. Now I know you might be wondering, FG, how do you miss a big feature like offline idle progression? Well, let me tell you, I keep my computer on all day long. So I literally had it up that's what she said. I literally had the game up and running all day long. So I never noticed that the game had offline idle progression. So in my tier list, I kind of ripped on the game for the fact that I had to have it running all day. But that's not true. It has offline progression. I was just a noob and I never turned my computer or my game off, or unless it crashed or something like that. That was like the only time until I uninstalled it. So that was my fault. I will be correcting it on the next tier list. It's definitely gonna be moving up because that makes a massive difference. The difference between having to keep your computer or your phone on all day versus being able to just turn it off when you want, that's massive. So my bad, Spirit Wish. Why aren't these rapid fire? I declared that they needed to be rapid fire. That should have been enough. Moving on over to Sacred Sword Princesses, ladies and gentlemen. This will be rapid fire. This is a new Taku game. All right, that's all you need to know. If you don't know, So we are finally moving to the second phase of the mobile gaming recap, which is the upcoming releases. But before we jump to that, a quick look at the current poll on the community tab. Shout out to the 5,000 people that interacted with this poll. Thank you for the interactivity on the community tab. Also follow me on Twitter. All of my social media contact information is right there in the description below the video. So this one was your favorite collaboration right now. By far, 50% of you guys said the Tekken 7 collaboration with King of Fighters All-Stars was your favorite collaboration. Coming up right behind that is Mega Man with Dragalia Laws, Collection of Mana with Lost Claudia, and surprisingly, Baby Shark beats out Summoner's Wars on Alune. Wow. So now it is time for the upcoming releases, starting off with Black Desert Mobile. Currently, you can pre-download the game today. This will also allow you to create your own character as well, and the servers will go live tomorrow. So this is supposed to be one of the biggest titles of the year here. I've seen videos of the game, and I'm a little pessimistic. It kind of just looks like a very pretty version of like Axe, like your typical mobile MMO, but I'm gonna reserve judgment. I've never played it before. Of course, I'll be there day one, so expect a first impression tomorrow. Also later this week is Iron Saga. So this game has quite the little hype train behind it. As you guys can see, they've had over 200,000 pre-registrations and probably counting beyond that at this point. This game comes out on 12/12. It combines waifus and mechs together. I'll be there, obviously. Shortly after that on 12/19, Marvel Super War is on the way as well. This is a brand new Marvel MOBA, and I have like negative hype for this one, but maybe just because I played way too many MOBAs back in my day. And I'm just kind of like, I'm not excited about early game laning and last hitting and mid game team fights and contesting gold objectives and building items and pushing the core. Like I've done that gameplay trope for so many years that it's hard for me to get excited for this. Maybe just having Marvel characters will be enough, but we're gonna find out on 12/19. Marvel Super War is on the way. And of course, Bandai Namco has a brand new anime-based hero collector. Black Clover Phantom Knights is now available for pre-registration. I don't have a fully confirmed release date, but right now, the word is on the street that this game is coming out on 1/30, so it won't be that much time to wait for us to all be yelled at. Also, Path of Exile has announced a mobile version of their very popular PC franchise that they promise to be just as fair as engaging as the PC version as well. No confirmed release date at this time, but I do want to take this opportunity to kind of talk about the general outlook of mobile gaming in 2020. And I've said this a few different times, but I want to go on record as many times as I possibly can when I say that 2020 is the year. It's the turning point of mobile gaming. So when I say turning point, what I basically mean, to give you guys a dumb analogy, like if you're in your car right now and your GPS just said, make a U-turn, that's what's gonna happen in 2020 when it comes to mobile gaming. We're not at our destination just yet, but this is the turning point for mobile gaming. So many high quality games are on the way in 2020, but the most important factor when it comes to these high quality games on the way is that they're gonna be high quality games that are fair. All right, we're already starting to see it with games like PUBG and Call of Duty Mobile. In 2020, we're gonna see Path of Exile. We're gonna see all the different games from Riot, and they're all gonna have one major thing in common. They're gonna be high quality and they're gonna be fair. And what that's gonna do, because when you think about it, the most finite resource when it comes to gamers is not money. I know some people are like, wait a minute, FG. No, seriously, the most finite resource when it comes to gamers is gamer time. You cannot play all of the games, ladies and gentlemen. So in 2020, when we have all of these fair and high quality titles hitting the market, they are gonna suck all of the gamer time out of the market, and all of these lesser games, and we're already starting to see it. We're already starting to see it. When you see games like Overhit and you see games like Alune all starting to struggle, that's just because even though they try to improve, they try to correct the mistakes that they've done, there's just not enough gamer time to play all of the games. So in 2020, when all these high quality games start to hit the market, we're gonna see games die even faster than we are today. And it should be the games that deserve to die. It should be those VIP, copy paste, Chinese MMOs. It should be games that do scummy practices. It should be games like that. People are gonna be like, wait a minute, why would I spend $10,000 in a hero collector when I can just go play League of Legends, when I can just go play Path of Exile, when I can just play Diablo Immortal? Yes, even Diablo Immortal. It's not gonna work out for these companies. So right now, they should be terrified that all of these bigger companies are coming to mobile and they're saying, you know what? Mobile gaming can be better. We don't have to sit there and like try to gouge our players for their money. We know how to make good games. We make them on PC. We know fair is the way to go. We have the most impeccable reputation on the market. Like I said, I can't emphasize it enough. These lesser companies, these scumbag companies, these copy paste companies, they're going to be vanishing even faster than they already are today. 2020, ladies and gentlemen, the turning point of mobile. Write it down. FG said it. And now we have arrived to the final part of the mobile gaming recap, the quick hits, and let's just hope that it actually is quick hits because my voice is dying, ladies and gentlemen. But don't you worry, the show will go on, the voice will hold. Let's talk about Epic 7, my goodness. So Epic 7 is under an extreme customer backlash. Shout out to Jim Sterling, as players right now are not happy with the current direction that Epic 7 is heading in. I don't currently play the game, so I can't give you any real detail about what's going on, but I will do you a favor. Down in the description below, I will link the Reddit post that kind of sums up everything that's going on in the game. And even if you don't currently play Epic 7, it's actually a really good read to kind of see all of this kind of happening in real time. And I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I love this. This is the only power that we really have as customers. When we're really upset at a company, going to the Play Store, giving the game a 1-star review, letting the developers know how we feel is the only way that we truly have power in the face of these development and publishing studios. Because one thing that they do not want new players being deterred from downloading the game, because that is new revenue streams. Games cannot survive unless they have an influx of new players constantly coming in. No game, and FG means no game, has ever survived with like the initial global launch player base and that's it, and no new players. That's just not how it works. So right now they are bleeding money, so they have to act. And kind of talking about what I was talking about earlier in the video, luckily for Epic 7, they don't have any competitors for people to jump to, but that might not always be the case. So eyes are on Smilegate on this one. So two big updates that I missed, starting off with Seven Nights Reboot, which is a substantial overhaul to the game, as well as Girls Frontline, which just had a major numbered client update as well. All right, let's keep these little double quick hits going. I like this. Moving on over to mobile games making their jump to PC clients. Starting off with Honkai Impact, the PC client version of this game should be hitting on December the 26th. Right now, you can also play Life After on PC. So more PC clients, I love to see it. Even though emulators are nice, they're not 100% stable. So I love to see more mobile gaming development studios embrace this. We did see this earlier this year with Raid Shadow Legends and their PC version. You guys are familiar with Raid Shadow Legends. It's an amazing mobile RPG where you can recruit over 150 legendary characters with cutting edge graphics. And if you use my code right now, you will get 50,000. I'm just joking. Man, I might as well have done a sponsorship at that point. FG, was that worth what little voice you had left? Yes, it was. Jumping on over to Elder Scrolls Blades. You guys remember that title. So Elder Scrolls Blades has a pretty massive update. They've added a lot more destructible environments. They've added arena PvP. They've added guilds. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, get this. They have removed all chest timers. If you guys were not familiar, back in the days when you played Elder Scrolls Blades, you picked up a chest, you'd have to wait 8 hours for it to open, or you spent Cash App currency to open it sooner. All of that has been removed. Now when you find a chest, you open it, you get your loot. Just like that. So just goes to show you that the power of customers, thank you Jim Sterling, is legit. Now in this instance, it wasn't a bunch of like 1-star reviews, but it was a lot of negativity on YouTube, a lot of negativity from outlets that are normally like PC and console focused. So when they saw things like this, it literally just drained all the hype away from the game. People don't even talk about Elder Scrolls Blades. So that's another way to get companies to kind of change major features like this that are anti-customer. It's gonna be a long time before I figure that out. So shout out to Elder Scrolls Blades, at least for changing course. I'm in the camp of, I'm not one of those people that are like, I'm never gonna play a game again. If a game development studio makes an honest change, they make a really big change that people have been clamoring for, I'm gonna at least re-download the game and give it a try. So that is where I'm headed after this video. All right, these quick hits have not been quick at all. So let's go ahead and triple it up, ladies and gentlemen. It's collaboration time. Starting off with Crusader's Quest with a collaboration with Shield Hero, Crash Fever with a collaboration with Data Live, and then another Eden with a permanent collaboration with Persona 5 starting on December the 12th. That is a very, very hype. And now we have finally come to the end of this episode of the Mobile Gaming Recap. But speaking of the end, these two titles have reached their end. Ladies and gentlemen, starting off with the hero collector Shinazuki is no more. The Hatsune Miku collaboration was not enough to save that title. And also, Supercell's Rush Wars is also coming to an end. They didn't even attempt a Hatsune Miku collaboration. It might have helped the game out. So that will do it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, my name is FG3000. I thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Later.